Training your mind to notice what is working. Hello, I'm the Psychological Fitness Nana Lucy. Today's daily habit of psychological fitness is to name the good stuff. Look, this is not about pretending that life is easy, and it's not about forcing gratitude when you're having a difficult day. It's not about finding something impressive, polished, or worthy of social media. It is about helping your mind notice what is real and good, even when life is hard. Because our minds are very good at spotting problems. As part of how we survived as human beings, we notice what's gone wrong, we remember the sharp words, the criticism, the replay, the difficult conversation. We focus on the school email, the friendship issue, the mess, the worry, the thing we did not get done. And sometimes at the end of the day, we can forget that anything went well at all. But a day can contain both. It can be difficult and still contain the good stuff. You can have shouted in the morning and still have prepared in the afternoon. Your child can have struggled at school and still have shown courage by going in. Your teenager can have been distant and still have accepted the cup of tea you left outside their door. You can feel tired and still have done something kind. Naming the good stuff helps us see the whole picture. It helps us build a more balanced story about ourselves, our children, and our family. Let's take a familiar example. Your child's had a difficult day. They were upset before they left for school. They came home tired. Homework became a struggle. Bedtime took longer than you'd hoped. At the end of the day, it would be easier to say, today was a disaster. But was it? Perhaps they still went into school. Perhaps they told you something that had upset them. Perhaps they'd managed one piece of homework. Perhaps you both came back together after a difficult moment. Perhaps you noticed that they needed less talking and more space. Those things matter. Not because they cancel out the hard bits, but because they are evidence of capacity. Evidence that something is working, even if it's working slowly. For younger children, you can make this simple. At bedtime, you might ask, what's one good thing about today? What was the one thing that you were brave enough to try? What made you smile? What did you do that you're proud of? You may not get a long answer. You might get nothing, but that's okay. You can go first. One good thing for me was when you helped me put the shopping away. I like sitting with you while we read your book. I noticed that you kept trying with that puzzle, trying different ways of doing it, even when it felt frustrating. For teenagers, it may work better in a lighter, less formal way, perhaps in the car, at dinner, by text. You might say something like, what was the least rubbish part of your day? Or, did anything go slightly better than you'd expected? Or simply, I noticed that you handled that difficult thing with more patience than you think. And we need this habit for ourselves too. Parents often have a long list of things that they think they should have done differently. Should have been more patient, got the house sorted. I should have handled that conversation better. I should know what to do. At the end of the day, try asking yourself, what is the one thing that I did do today that helped? Perhaps you packed the lunch, you sat with your child while they cried. Perhaps you held a boundary. Perhaps you apologised, you reset. Perhaps you asked for help. Perhaps you got through the day that simply was hard. That all counts. There is something very grounding about ending a day with one true, ordinary thing. Not something perfect, just something real. Here's a practice each day. Choose one of these 3 prompts. What went well? What am I glad about? What am I proud of? You can answer it alone. You can write it down if you can. It does help to keep a journal. You can ask it at the dinner table. You can make it part of the bedtime routine. You can put a note on the kitchen noteboard. The point is not to make it another task. The point is to train your attention to help your mind notice the strengths, the connection, the effort that are already present in family life. Because what we notice, we're more likely to build on. If we only notice problems, we start to believe that problems are all there is. But when we notice courage, kindness, repair, effort, connection, we remind ourselves that these things are present too. That's not wishful thinking, it's a fuller, bigger picture. And a fuller picture gives us more hope. So for this week, choose one moment every day to name the good stuff. Keep it small, a cup of tea together, a kind word, a difficult task attempted, a boundary held, a moment repaired, a walk, a laugh, a child came back downstairs, a pause before reacting. My aim here is to share my 2 decades of work understanding how we improve our psychological fitness. That's why I've created this free 5-day psychological fitness reset. Please share it so others you know can try it too. Let me know in the comments how you've used the habits. Download the complete 5 daily habits tracker to help you keep on track. If you want a deeper dive, Healthy Minds for Parents can help you explore deeper pathways that can help you turn these small practices into a steadier way of living together. Find the link in the channel bio. I'm the Psychological Fitness Nana, and this is Psychological Fitness.